Welcome back to Bones, Bourbon, Barley, and Brass. We're a lifestyle channel where we discuss interesting things. This is going to be a fireside chat where we discuss beer and how I got into beer. Um, I have a nice glass of Karbach Oktoberfest. If I keep looking off in this direction, it's because there's a Blackhawks game on. So apologies in advance. They're playing the Flames and losing, so I guess I'll be having more to drink then. Um, how did I get into beer? Well, one could argue I got into beer at age like 6, due to being the byproduct of 7 younger brothers, all of which are half. My dad was a tool and die machinist. He had his own business. It was him, and he had an employee. And at any rate, they had to build a new machine shop. And so they built a new machine shop. My brothers came. My brothers were in their 20s, came and helped put the shop together. Well, wouldn't you know it, my brothers would leave cans of Busch Light out on the patio of the shop as they were working. I would go around and in turn have sips of the Busch Light. Let me tell you, as a 6-year-old, it was the most god-awful beer I've ever had. So one could argue that's how I got into beer. When I got into college, I went to Northern Illinois University, and it was in the mid-2000s when we were pretty good at football. And Miller Lite was probably the first beer that I got into. I originally thought beer was disgusting, and Jack and Coke was more my drink of choice. However, beers were often found at tailgates. And so I remember trying Miller Lite. It was all right. Then there would be IPAs, and they were bitter. That was interesting. Then Oktoberfest would come out. Goose Island's a big beer brand in Chicago. They had an urban wheat beer. They still do. It's called 312. It had a yellow label at the time. It's a good solid wheat beer. That would be a go-to. Shiner Bock was a go-to. Sam Adams Boston Lager was a go-to. And actually, that was in Sam Adams' heyday before they sold out to private equity. They had a lot of good beers like Cranberry Lambic. Cream Stout was another good beer. It was outstanding. So that's how I got into beer. And then as time goes on, you move different places. Like I lived in Iowa, Exile Brewery, Confluence Brewery. There's a number of real good breweries there. Missouri, Mother's Brewery, Springfield Brewing Company. Here in Texas, there's Manhattan Project, Tups, Karbach, Pegasus City, Deep Ellum Brewing Company. So, a lot of good beers. Try a lot of craft beers in a lot of places. New York, New Jersey, Michigan, Wisconsin. Spotted Cow is amazing. Even overseas in Switzerland. What was that beer? Schwarz Monk. So over by Interlaken near Mürren, I forget the name of the town, but there's a bed and breakfast, Pension Gimmelwald in Gimmelwald, Switzerland. They have a beer called Schwarz Monk. Absolutely the chef's kiss as far as beer. The closest thing I've been able to find is Allstats Schwarz beer, which we did a review on. Outstanding beer. Oktoberfest is easy drinking. Pool beer, Corona. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say if they have any insights. How did I get into beer? Well, I told you. Older brothers and being a dumbass kid. Was there a specific beer that changed how I looked at beer? Probably variety packs in college. When you had a brewer like Sam Adams, they'd make a seasonal variety pack, have a bunch of different things. That's probably when it made me change how I looked at beer. Also, going with the seasons, I think about Chicago winters. Two Brothers had a Northwind Stout at like 9.1%. I love that beer. I love that beer when it's freezing cold. It warms you up like something else. At my advanced age now, I could probably only do one. At the time, I felt like I could do three or four. Warm you up, put you out, and you would go to bed, and then wake up the next morning. So, um, what styles do I gravitate towards? I would say Schwarz beer, Marzens. Um, I like a lager. I like an amber. I like a hazy IPA. I like seasonal beers. I'll drink just about anything. The only thing I'm not into is like cast beers. So like bourbon barrel stouts. I have a Scotch aged ale in the fridge. We'll try. Talk about bitter beer face. No, thank you. So that's about the only beer that I don't like. Do I prefer local craft or classic or established brands? I would say both for different reasons. Sometimes there's just something to be said about a Miller Lite. Um, I will say Budvar or Czechvar, that's a solid beer. That's a solid beer. I need to get the little mug and do an appropriate review of it, but that is certainly a solid beer. What's my go-to when I'm not filming a review? I would say right now, Czechvar, if I can get it. Um, Hofbrau, Hofbrau Dunkel, I would say is another one. Um, those two. How does beer fit into this channel? Well, it's a pillar of the channel. Bones, bourbon, barley, and brass under the barley category. Um, typically what I found is my audience is interested in those things, and it's one of the four things of this channel. So I expect that beer will keep this channel vibrant and provide lots of evergreen content. We plan to do reviews, an analysis. I realize my palate is different than everyone else's, and that's okay. That's not a problem by any stretch of the imagination. What advice would you give to someone just starting to explore beer? Don't get smashed in college would be my first advice. Try beer like a hobby, not like you're going out on a Friday night and looking to get smashed and laid. Try beer as a hobby. Pair it with food. Understand what hops do. Understand what malts do. Try different beers in different seasons with different food. I think it will allow you to develop a greater appreciation for beer. Have beer with friends. Have beer with friends in a sense of, again, not a Friday or Saturday night and you're going to the honky tonk or the club to get smashed. Certainly try it. Appreciate it for what it is. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on beer. I'm sure we'll have more videos at later dates about beer. I still have Oktoberfest reviews, and it's middle of January. I am probably due to buy a few more winter beers to review, and then also some spring beers. It's going to be March pretty quick, so we're going to have some Irish Reds, some stouts, some good Irish beer. I think going into March we'll have a pretty good plan. So feel free to like this channel, subscribe. We're going to have a Patreon at some point. We have Instagram. We're working on TikTok. I guess all the Gen Z and Gen Alphas, or I guess Gen Z in our case, Gen Alphas, probably not content suited for. So, but check us out. We're on Instagram, Bones, Bourbon, Barley, Brass. As I said, we're a lifestyle channel where we discuss interesting things. So, until next time, because I have an Oktoberfest, I would say cheers, but in this case, Prost.